Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. This is Sparta. I'm your host, Jason Strayhorn, along with my co-host, Sedrick, Swerve, and Irvin.
Hit him with the swerve. Hit him with the swerve. Hit him with the swerve. Hit them with the swerve.
Yes, sir. How you been, brother?
Oh, great. Just one day at a time, brother. One day at a time. How you doing? I know it's a big day today for you, brother.
Big day. We getting there. You know, IMG, we down here in Bradenton, Florida for graduation celebration. We have Caden who did sign with the University of Michigan, but he is back in Florida to graduate. He's practicing tonight. Tomorrow's the official day. All hearts are warm and heavy. And thanks, we're going to have a Chorus Light because they are the official sponsor of this Sparta. Brother Cody's in town. Everybody, Mom, Alicia, you got Gabriella as well. So it's going to be a big event. And, Amari's coming up soon. Amari Irvin.
Now, two more years, but I'm going to salute. I'm going to drink this Coors Light for my nephew.
Yes, sir. We're going to do it, man. So, listen, we weren't here on Tuesday. This time of year, we are going to a one show per week time because of a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts going on. We're bringing you new content and maybe a little rebranding happening a little bit too as we continue to build on this great network that we have here established at This Is Sparta MSU, all things Michigan State and beyond. There's going to be a lot of beyond now as we continue to go into the summer months before we get into that Spartan football and all what's going on in the Big Ten and beyond. There's so much happening in college athletics that we felt like we'd be doing you injustice just to talk about one school all the time because there's a lot of other things going on that really are pertinent to, man, that's a big word, I know, important for all of our fans. What you think about that?
You sound like you graduating today too, Stray. Like you gonna be Kumala. Kumala, what is Magnum cum laude? Yeah. You sound like, you know what I'm saying? You had that on your robe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You gotta have all that, man. You gotta graduate with honors and all that, 3.8. Hey,
nah, not me. I just happy I made it across the stage, Stray. I just made that. I don't need no decoration. I ain't need no extra. None of that. I just want to, shake your hand. I ain't doing no dance. Trey, did you see I know it's off, but did you see, first of all, we going too far, our people. You had the one guy, president, he get up, he's speaking all great. He's saying, when you come across the stage, it ain't going to be none of that nonsense, none of that dance, this and this. But then he says, we are going to do the boots with the fan.
Oh, yeah.
I said, come on, dog. And then I'm just into the graduation because my nephew graduating in a few hours. And then I saw another one. They were dancing. Everybody came across. If they was in a fraternity, they did their thing and they were, come on, dog.
So graduating in work, but if you score a touchdown, though, you better do a little something.
Yeah, you got to hit him with the swerve. That's what I'm saying. But the president came on. He said, "Don't come across the stage with all that dance and shit." Boom, boom. But then he said, "You know what we gonna do? We gonna do the fans in the booth." And I can see right now, Mama Hall with the fan. Go, Mama Hall. Go, Mama Hall.
Oh, yeah. Mama Hall got a big season coming up. Her baby's getting ready to get after somebody's ass. You know what I'm talking about. Jordan Hall, linebacker extraordinaire from Michigan State. But, man, we can't get ahead of ourselves. I swear we got to talk about our jam-packed show. But first, these messages from our friends over at Gray Matter Exchange.
Gray Matters.
Just like a bad player can cost your team the game, overpaying for shipping can cost your business. Gray Matter Exchange, your all-star team for shipping savings, will help you score big with up to 30% savings on your UPS and FedEx costs.
Man, listen, that Gray Matter Exchange, great partner, and love them. Got to call them if you want to save money for nothing. You mail stuff, call them. Listen, Swerve. College athletics have been changing. We know what's going on. NIL, transfer portal, and there's a lot of people trying to put guardrails. They got to put caps, guardrail, cap, and guardrail. They don't want the players to make too much money and get out of control because it's not good for the game, whatever that means. So our old coach, Jesus, you call him. I call him Coach Saban. Nick Saban, a few weeks ago, went to Washington, D.C. When he went out there, apparently, he was, just talking with the president, Trump, and there was all this talk, news reports out of that saying that there may be an executive order signed by the president stating that he would do something about college athletics. President didn't say no, but what he did say was we can start a commission. And he named Nick Saban and a billionaire out of Texas Tech to be the co-chair of this commission. And today, looks like the president has put pause on it. But we got a clip about with Jesus here.
About the commission, first of all. Secondly, I'm not sure we really need a commission. I think that, a lot of people know exactly what the issues are in college football and exactly what we need to do to fix them. I think the key to the drill is getting people together so that we can move it forward. So, I'm not opposed to players making money. I don't want anybody to think that. I just think the system that we're, the way it's going right now, it's not sustainable and probably not in the best interest of the student athletes across the board or the game itself. So I think we need to protect the brand and the competitive advantages and disadvantages that are being created right now. And I think we can fix all that. But I think we know how to do it. And I think not just me, but a lot of people, we just got to get everybody together to do it.
But whether you really want to look.
So words there by Coach Jesus there in Paul Feinbaum show at a golf tournament there. So, Swerve, what do you think about the statement by Coach Jesus?
The thing that pisses me off is when guys want to have control, if that makes sense. I don't know if you know, like Saban had in his contract, from my understanding, that he had to make $1 more if he won a national championship. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by control, like Saban, you retire, you finish. You know what I mean? He's pissed off about a quarterback getting $12 million and this and that. He would love for it to be like everybody get the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not reality. That's just like every coach didn't get the same amount of money. You wanted $1 more than the highest paid when you won.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, come on. Not just that. If you ranked it, you the number one recruiting class. If you graduating rate, everybody got these raises and these bonuses. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then, like a lot of these kids getting paid now, and a lot of guys who when we played, we didn't get paid. Like a lot of us, like, okay, shit, go get that money.
Mm-hmm.
You probably got some that envy the situation, but you got Trump calling Sabans and putting something together. Then the billionaire in Texas. That's it. That's it. We don't get a former player. You don't get a guy that from the slums that made it out. Like, y'all the voice.
You're right.
That's the shit that pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
Why them two?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh,
and then also, and I understand it, Saban. I mean, I know you. I'm not gonna say anything, but come on. Like, shit, let these kids get paid. Y'all getting paid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we get the right team people. We know how to fix it. Well, how? Shit, it's been going on 3-4 years now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great point. Listen, when you bring up the guys that are going to fix it, and why didn't they have a former player or somebody that's out there actually doing it? I mean, that you're talking about something called collective bargaining. That's why the NFL, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, and beyond, most pro sports have collective bargaining. That's why they have salary caps and contracts. They have a lot of language within that process of collectively bargaining that prevents lawsuits. So people have to honor contracts. Right now, what we're seeing in college athletics is that every lawyer in America is challenging what the NCAA is doing, the administration is doing, because it doesn't stand up to the laws of the land, the United States. You take this to a federal court, the federal judges are siding with whom? The athlete. That's who they're siding with. That's the law. What they're trying to do is get antitrust exemptions, which antitrust is usually that means you're breaking the law. That's against the law to have a monopoly. And they're saying let's have an exemption for an industry because they say it's not sustainable. We're talking billions upon billions of dollars. It's not sustainable. So, I would like to have someone give us explain it to us like we're kindergartners, not kindergartner, kindergartner. Explain it to me like that, how we are insolvent as an entire collegiate athletics department. In my opinion, maybe some of them may need to be privatized. That's something that's going to probably come at a stadium near you in certain sports. And I don't think it's a bad thing. Privatization, sell the sizzle, bring more excitement, maybe move some schedules into different parts of the year so that the TV viewership, because right now we're entering into that. After these crazy playoffs we're going to get to in the NBA in a moment as well, what else we got to look forward to? It's a dearth of there's nothing going on. It's a desert of what we can look at until football comes. That's why we're so starved come late July. But, man, listen, Swerve, I think you hit the nail on the head. There is one today, just a few hours ago, that came out at the University of Tennessee. The chancellor and the athletic director did come out and make a statement here. I think we have the clip. Is that right, producer Sean? Let's see if we have it. Twitter.
In my view, is as a leader outside of UT, trying to do something about all this change that's happening so fast. Well, actually not fast enough, you might say.
Not fast enough.
No, I know it. So, I mean, how on a daily basis, how do you do both? You lead here, and I see you you can't stop yourself from trying to lead there.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit. That your dad didn't have to do that, did
No, it's challenging. And I see you struggling with the same thing.
Yeah.
Our job is to lead the University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
But we also have a national issue
Yeah.
in college sports that's a real problem.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about like the Tennessee hat versus the college sports hat.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
I've been probably wearing the Tennessee hat a lot more recently.
I've noticed.
Thinking
Yeah,
about just
yeah.
what's our opportunity
Right.
to be competitively excellent in this new world. But it's a real issue. We could go on and on
Yeah.
about what we
Yeah.
need, but I'll say it. We got a camera on us. I don't really care at this
Yeah.
point. Collective bargaining is the only issue. It's the only solution.
It's the only way we're going to get there.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Wow. That is University of Tennessee Athletic Director Danny White and Chancellor Donde Plowman.
So straight, break it down for some of the people. Like if I was in the chat, right? And I know there's gonna be some people in the chat that saying, what's a collective bargaining?
All right, so collective bargaining is where you have both sides, you have all sides come to the table. That means the administration, that's the athletic directors and the administrators, the NCAA, because the NCAA is kind of made up of all the chancellors and presidents. That's who represents the universities, not the athletic directors like you think. The athletic directors are more in the conferences, like we're in the Big Ten at Michigan State. So the athletic director is basically handles that Big Ten business. But on a national stage, it's the chancellors and presidents. At Michigan State, we call them the president. At Tennessee, it's the chancellor. So you have those people at the table. In pro sports, it's the owners. That's the ownership side. And then the players. You got to have the actual athletes coming to the table with their attorneys, ownership's attorneys, the players' attorneys. And they sit down and they hammer out agreements. And it's not an easy process, but it's fair, ultimately, pound of flesh for each side. Both people feeling like they may have lost a little bit. It's usually where you come to an agreement on something. because nobody's going to be completely happy about it. But right now, listen, the NCAA and the administration is feeling, and I don't think a day goes by where I'm not next to somebody who's saying, this NIL is bad for sports. I hear it all the time. I'm sure you hear it, Swerve. I'm sure you hear that from somebody, and I always have to ask the question why. But when we talk about it, and they start to say, well, maybe it's the transfer portal, which that I get it. It's the transfer portal, but it's kind of been grouped together with athletes are getting paid, which makes the game bad. And I think we have to get out of that mindset because we got out of that mindset a couple hundred years ago. I would have thought we did. Putting dollar amounts on players and athletes' heads is something that went on here in this country, which we try to forget about, right? We try to get past. So what we're doing now is trying to go back to that. We can't do that. It's not going to work in any capacity. And I applaud the chancellor of the University of Tennessee and the athletic director at Tennessee as well for coming out publicly and stating this. So the only way you can get to that collective bargaining and get, the athletes and the administration to get together, you got to be employees. We have to get off of this idea that it's just amateurism and it's college athletics is just amateurism and they're going to, I don't know. They get the free room and board, and that's that. They're getting paid now. You're not going to put that horse back in the barn, the toothpaste out the tube, the genie's out the bottle. All that shit's true. So we got to find a path forward, which is fair for all sides. I think that's what the struggle is. But until you get to employment, you can't get to collective bargaining. And if you don't get to either one of those, it's going to be the wild, wild west as it is right now. You ain't seen all of it yet. It's getting ready to get crazy over the next, in my opinion, 24 to 36 months. But I know that because the reason Donald Trump didn't sign an executive order is because he don't want to stick his hand in that shit. Let's keep it real. This is different now. He'd rather fight China than to fight all the athletes here in the United States and all those families. And that's a real statement. Swerve. Does that make sense?
You hit it on. You dot the I and cross the T for me, brother.
Man, hey, this is huge when you talk about the gravity of what's going on right now. And you don't hear a lot about it, the details, but this is what you come here for, to get the details of what's going on behind the scenes and, the undercurrents. I believe there's supposed to be I don't know. There's the July 1st date is a huge date that all coaching staffs are afraid of. Some are excited about because that's when this House settlement is supposed to be kicked into gear with the revenue share, that $20.5 million that goes to all the big schools, and they're going to divide it up, and the schools will be paying that. And we just lost an athletic director because in hindsight, this is something that we talked about on this show ad nauseum till we were blue in the face over and over and over again about how other schools are not only doing that, they're also raising money outside. And that now I think we in East Lansing and Spartan country are starting to understand that to be true. But listen, I don't think there's ever going to be complete parity. I mean, there's not parity in all of pro sports, really. It's competitive at the pro level because the talent is what it is. There's only so many spots. When you have so many colleges and so many, and until they kind of liquidate or consolidate into smaller leagues, man, there's going to be a disparity. You can't have 130 great teams. There's not that many great players. So it's the open market, right? It's where the great players are going to go where? Where are they going to go?
SEC.
Where? Why? Why do they go there?
That's where the money at.
That's my point. Big Ten, and listen, in my opinion, the Big Ten might outshine the SEC because the SEC led the way when it was under table money. And just like I do, under the table money was $5,000 here, $50,000 there. Brown paper bag, right? This is how it was. Now, you talking about $12 million quarterbacks, man. It's not unheard of to see a tackle in high school getting $2.5 million per year and getting paid while he's in high school. We know that to be true. That's happening right now. Okay, so hey, Swerve, and they're not going to SEC schools. The guys, the two tackles we're talking about, one's a Big Ten and one's the ACC. Think about it. It's a crazy world, brother. Hey, as we digress, man, hey, we got more to talk about. Listen, that's a lot to cover right there. And this is a tape show right now, so we are not seeing the comments live. We would love to get into this discussion live, but we have a lot of obligations, as we talked about already. But first, this message from our friends over at IHOP.
$6 never tasted so good. IHOP's Breakfast Faves combo is now just $6, featuring IHOP's world-famous buttermilk pancakes, crispy hickory smoked bacon, and 2 eggs cooked to order your way. All for just $6, part of the new $6 House Faves menu.
Oh, 6 House Fives. Woo!
Gotta love IHOP, baby. Cal Farah and the Fair Foundation for doing what they do every day at IHOP. Man, listen, let's talk about the hard fouls in the WNBA. We're going to go that way for a moment, before we segue to the NBA. But the WNBA this past week, full of controversy when you talk about what happened with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Do we have the clip of the foul here? Swerve, I need you to break this down for me.
All right, Stray, let's check this out. All right. Reese goes up. No. If you go back before Reese goes up before that shot, this is why I got a lot of respect for Caitlin. And you're going to see her point at the foul. Her teammate was pushed in the back. It was no foul call, right? So now if you push my sister and y'all not going to recognize it, guess what? I'm finna foul this bitch hard. That's what she did, right? Boom. She pointed. Y'all didn't say nothing. Okay, boom, foul. Right? And walked away and then look at her sister. Don't touch her. You go over there, Caitlin, I got this. Get your ass over there. This ain't that. I'm about this. I got this. Don't worry about it. You we need the triple double. You go on over there. Well, I'm gonna handle this part over here. Right? So everybody blowing it up because, okay, Reese and Caitlin, and it's WNBA. You need some kind of excitement. But Caitlin was not wrong. She was taking up. Go back some more if you can. If you go back, Reese pushed her. Watch. She pushed her. Boom. She pointed. No foul. Okay, guess what? Y'all don't want to call it? Boom. Take it upon myself.
Good point.
You understand what I'm saying?
I didn't originally see that point.
Right. Nobody recognizing that part.
Right.
Everybody just focusing on Caitlin fouling Reese. Yeah, but Reese pushed my teammate in the back and the ref didn't call it. So guess what? I took matters in my own hand and guess I'm a ride or die for mine.
Hey, great point.
Am I my sister keeper? That's what Caitlin said. Yes, I am.
Man, you see great analysis. You see that? The breakdown right there by the great Swerve and Irvin, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. Tune in. You're going to learn something. But he say, if you want to win, tap in, as Mateen Cleve say. So, look, this has spurred more controversy with a lot of talking heads like me and you are right now. Start going at it, and taking sides. You know what I mean? This is what's been crazy to me. We saw Ryan Clark and RG3, Robert Griffin III, start a feud. Do we have clips of this? I mean, man, Swerve, what is going on?
For me,
a little bit of the Ryan Clark there. He was on the pivot.
But he does understand hate because I think he also understands the hate of self. When you look at the play, which is all we can speak to as professionals, all we can speak to as analysts. Angel Reese pushed one of her teammates. Caitlin Clark had a hard foul, which is part of basketball. I feel like it was assessed correctly. And Angel Reese's reaction is the sort of reaction you get in a situation when you feel like you took an intentionally hard foul. That's competitiveness. That's rivalry. That's not hate. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train, and now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy, as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story. Right. The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what Black women have to endure in this country, about what young Black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlin Clark's rise and ascension into stardom. Now, when you look at it, I think A'ja Wilson is the face of the league. A'ja Wilson is the best player in the league. Caitlin Clark is the most important player in the WNBA. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able.
Wow.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy RG3.
Here's RG3's comment.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy RG3, and I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys because there's been a lot of buzz, a lot of conversations about my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, which was purely based in basketball. But no, there's a line in life that you just simply don't cross. Wives and children are always off limits, and Ryan Clark has sprinted past that line. Ryan Clark didn't like my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. And that's fine. It's okay. It's part of the game. Sports media, I'm going to have an opinion. This person might not agree with it. That person might not agree with it. But what you don't do is turn around and personally attack me and my family just because you don't agree with a sports opinion that is purely based off the sport. I didn't make it personal. But what that really shows is just how low of a person Ryan Clark is. But Ryan, you crossed the line, man. You made it personal and some. I really believe.
Okay, I think we get the gist there. What's your take on this?
First of all, Ryan, you don't know what's been said in that man's household. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the thing about these guys, man. And I understand. I mean, and I blame the television world. You're getting these guys, you're giving them jobs because of names or whatever. You're not taking them through no communication. Like I took COM 225 straight. You know, COM 225, COM 310. Like I took those classes. Mike Irvin ain't take no fucking communication classes or broadcasting, but you giving them the microphone. Yeah. And they doing and we doing what they want us to do.
Talk about it.
You understand what I'm saying? That's some silly shit to say. Like I can't tell you what goes on in your house, straight. So like you can't tell me what goes on in mine. So right. Ryan Clark, you wrong with that. Why? Because his wife is white. How you don't know? They may talk about that.
Right.
See, the kids mix. I hope at one point in time you can share some kind of history with them. Yeah. So you don't know that, Ryan. That's bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But why not, like RG said, keep it at the sport? Just keep it at your opinion, my opinion. It is what it's not right or wrong. We see what we saw and we make a leave it at that.
Right.
You don't know what this man talking about when they taking a shower or when they having pillow talk or when they eat the potato salad. I don't even know if they got raisins. I ain't even gonna say that. But I'd be wrong, you know.
Green bean casserole. Yeah.
Right. Keep it with the sport.
Come on. Right.
But you know the sad part about that, Stray. Let's take those guys game day.
Yeah.
Ohio State. No, let's take the white guys. Do you see them clacking heads with each other?
No.
You know what I mean? Do you see another white person going off with the punter? Nobody, just a fucking punter. He one of the biggest. Come on, dog. I didn't even know he played in the NFL.
Oh, you talking about Pat McAfee?
Come on, Trey. I mean, he got a podcast on ESPN.
Executives' throats. He don't give a damn.
Do you see another white dude going at him and saying what he doing in his house? Like, And he say some off the wall shit.
Yeah, he does. No doubt about it.
So at the end of the day, I think Ryan was wrong with that comment. You understand what I'm saying? Keep it with the sports, fella. Then you're gonna do tell another brother down and talk about his household. Now they going back and saying Ryan got an interracial baby too. I'm through with it, man. I don't get it.
Right? Who wins with all of this, man? Well, who wins with all that? Just the networks and the ratings, and it does end up making everybody look a little bad there. In my opinion, you're right. There's no doubt about it, man. And this was for whatever reason, this Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark thing has polarized the WNBA, and it's split down. It's a racial thing, almost like Magic and Bird, going all the way back to that. But Magic was more beloved, as a player and his image than what Angel Reese. Angel Reese is coming into place. It's a little edgy for people, and they want to she want to fight Caitlin because what Caitlin believes. I don't know the image. I mean, just play the game. I like the rivalry though. I like the little chippiness every now and then, but come on, let's not make this a race issue.
Stray, I never watched WNBA. I don't know if I ever will, but I did watch a Clayton Clark game. Right? You know why? Because I had to see. And then you want to say racist, whatever. I mean, it was 5 white girls on the court playing 5 black girls on the court. And when I say Caitlin had 40 points, and then the other point, she was a part of another 18 points with assists. Oh, I was a fan because I witnessed.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's when Ryan Clark said, it's kind of racist with, her fame and her notoriety. No. People like who they like. And get what? I'm blacker than all blacks. And I'm a Clark fan from that game, from that college game. I ain't never going to watch a whole WNBA game unless it's 12 cigars and a whole lot of drink. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way I can ever do it. But I did watch her in college and watch the whole game, not just one. I think I ended up watching 3 games because I witnessed and I was a fan. And I'm blacker than all blacks. You don't get no blacker than me.
Is it because Angel Reese won a national title and Caitlin never did?
No, I watched Caitlin.
Yeah, I'm just talking the controversy. I know.
No, I don't think that. I just think Reese feels some type of way. And Reese is popular, but you ain't Caitlin popular. But you got to McDonald's. I saw she got something in the cereal lane. In the aisle. You go down in public, she got something down there too. She had a meal at McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever. She did her. He ain't Caitlin. Caitlin's selling us arenas.
Yeah.
I'm glad she didn't put her hands on Caitlin because you probably would have went to jail.
I don't know if she really wanted to smoke. You saw that when she went after
Caitlin can't fight. Don't want to fight. You see who's and you know what Caitlin said? I'm paying the fine.
Wow.
Come on, dog. You can't. Come on. I love Caitlin. I don't even know. Y'all stuck up for me. Y'all pushed me away. Y'all handled the bit, and you get a fine. I'm paying for it. It just come out one of my. Caitlin, the only one got a beeper deal. She bring it back. She bring it back to old beepers.
You bullshit. Seriously?
I read it on AI.
The beeper deal. Why people want beepers, man? You got smartphones. That shit sells, brother. Man, hey, talking about the WNBA, let's move up. Before we get to the NBA, man, hold on. Let's talk about our guy over in East Lansing, man, because certain times we've been talking, we bring up certain kids, but this one right here, Joseph Zerwa, 6'8", left-handed pitcher.
I called it.
Yes, Big Ten pitcher of the year, 100 strikeouts. First time Michigan State's had a 100 strikeout pitcher since 2002. I mean, this guy, hey, if he don't go first round, I got to call commissioner. Talk to me, Swerve.
Straight, it's nothing to be talked about. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You talk about a guy that's the next Randy Johnson. You know what I mean? And you gotta. Ain't no. I don't know how many teams in the MLB.
I don't know, 30.
All right. It ain't 29 better than him that he can't go in the first round. You understand what I'm saying? I say he would be player of the year in the Big Ten, maybe all of them, however they do it. You know, I mean, the guy, and it's important. I wish I could see it in person, but I saw a couple games on TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about boom, 98, boom, 97, boom. I'm talking about all the way into the 4th and the 5th innings, right? That's longevity. That's endurance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? The boy was throwing 90s, late high 90s in the 5th and 6th inning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
big time.
Yeah, I'm sitting next to a guy watching the highlights, and the guy say, "Hey, the guy's 6th inning throwing 97. Oh, you know what? This is his type of pro." I say, "You know something? You want to something, brother? You know." But phenomenal, man. And like you say, we always give him a shout out with the foundation that he's doing and the money that he's giving away. Mm-hmm. thank goodness to a guy that's in the running, Mr. Tom. But that's a wonderful thing, and I'm just happy for the kid, man. I just wish we really got a chance to go up to a game, but hey, we'll catch.
But you still got you told him you was gonna take him yards, so you got to go up there soon and stand in that box against the 6'8" lefty.
On that note, I want to give a shout out to everybody that played pickleball. Right, just off the subject, I went out for the first time. And I thought it was a bullshit game. Straight, I saw guys walking out there, old white guys, and I love white people. I love them. They the best people to me. My kid mix, so let's not go there. A guy 76 years old, straight. I can't make this up. This is why I'm about to get in shape, and I'm about to become a pickleball player. Yeah, I'm pissed off. 76 years old and kicked my ass. And said his age. That was still in my head. I went to the gym yesterday and I was lifting. I could hear him say, "Yeah, not bad for a 76-year-old man." I was so pissed.
Damn.
But when I say they mastered the game, I mean, it's ladies out there straight talking shit and can play. I didn't know the game my first time playing, and no excuses. But when I say I got my ass whooped straight, I'm so pissed off that I'm finna get pickleball condition training, and I'm finna get. I told him I'll be back by August. I want the same 76-year-old man who whooped my ass. I'm gonna whoop his ass straight. Now let's go. But I salute everybody that played pickleball. I thought it was bullshit. I thought somebody made it up in a suburb house, whatever. But man, it's a real ooh.
Oh yeah, it's sweeping the nation. It's big, fastest growing sport out here right now. Pickleball.
76-year-old man kicked my ass. I gotta salute him, boy. But I'm coming back, though. I bet you that. The next time I come back, we're gonna record and put it on the show in August.
All right. I don't want to forget that Zero was also named first team All Big Ten, was the only unanimous selection in the first team, and also Ryan McKay was named the second team All Big Ten, while senior Sam Bush was MSU Big Ten Sportsmanship Award recipient. So hats off to the Michigan State baseball team. They're still playing right now. They're in the Big Ten tournament. I think they're facing Oregon today once again. So they're a 12 seed. Only 12 make it to the Big Ten tournament. They're the 12th seed. So a long shot, but you got to cheer those guys on today. Swerve, speaking of this, it's time to make – you talked about Tom Dieter. It's time to make your NIL gifts charitable with Charitable Gift America. MSU baseball's dominant left-handed pitcher Joseph Zerwa is giving back to the community once again through his partnership with Charitable Gift America, MSU's original and most trusted NIL fund. Joseph and his family and the team did adopt 6-year-old Luca Wright to join the team as their top recruit this season. Luca is currently taking on leukemia and needs the support of our Spartan community. For every strikeout, and that's 100 that Zerwa collected this season, he'll be making a donation to the cause looking for Luca Foundation and directly support Luca and his family. Additionally, the fund is accepting public contributions to increase the impact for this wonderful kid and family. Step up to the plate today, Swerve, at cgaathletics.org. So, man, look, can't beat a kid that's got a big arm and a big heart.
A hell of a combination.
Yeah, man. And so to close this out today, we got to talk a little bit about the NBA. We talked WNBA, But did you see the ending of that game last night? Pacers on the road in the Garden in Madison Square and had a 16-point lead. Is that what they're telling me in the fourth quarter? And lost that. So, I mean, that shot by Halliburton, I don't know if we've got the shot or him doing the Reggie Miller choke, but my goodness, where that was a hell of a finish in the overtime. Even getting to overtime, let alone the finish.
Yeah, I watched that game, Stray, and I thought, the Knicks would run away with it in the fourth, kind of like, how Minnesota lost their first game. And, those guys came back.
They hugging and all this. Yeah. So he misses a free throw. And this is it right here. I mean, compliments of TNT right there for a quick little for the video. Thanks, producer Sean, back in the back, doing your thing. But Swerve, like that, you said, finish your statement about watching that game last night.
Well, if you go back to the Dallas series, not Dallas, Minnesota series, it was sloppy first half, whatever, come out the second half, and OKC just run away with it. I mean, to a game that was close, and OKC ended up going up by 20-some points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Had a hell of a fourth quarter, but first half was terrible. I think the league MVP, I think he was like 2 for 11 or something like that. And then come back and have 20-some point, end up with 30-some points. But so I thought the same thing would happen with the Knicks, because it was a good game and Knicks had to lead. But I just said, okay, you know what? The Knicks finna run away with it. But Knicks top player, Brunson, foul trouble. He got to sit his ass down, but then they still hold the front down. When he was down, that's when they kind of took the lead,
Yep.
But Indiana had that one guy that hit like 5 threes within every series that came down the court. They hit like 4 in a row, and they knew he had the hot hand, and they fed him. They kept feeding him. And he was knocking them down, and before you know it, they kept chipping away. Like they say, chopping wood. They kept chopping wood, and at the end, put the ball in their best player's hands, and he came through, and they beat him in overtime.
Man. Great finish to that game. I mean, NBA, there's a lot of, they got me back, man. I'm telling you, it's been a long time. I haven't been watching the NBA because it's a different game. You got to get used to the threes and not a lot of physical contact anymore.
I hate basketball now because if you watch that game, everybody's shooting threes. Like nobody plays with their back against the basket. There's no turnaround, boom, boom. There's no take a jump step and dunk. It's none of that. Like only way I love watching basketball is thank God for my cigar. That's the only reason I can watch it. Besides that, it's just everybody shooting threes. Like if you're a little kid right now and you have dreams of going to the NBA, you just shooting threes. Like that, you gotta master that.
Yeah.
And saw what Boston did. They shot 63 threes. You know how in football, you're going to average plays, you're going to get in the game probably 60 or 65 games, total plays.
Yeah.
Imagine you go in the game, they throwing the ball 65 times. I mean, as a running back, I'm not running the ball.
That's right.
Shooting the ball. They shot 65 threes. Like, come 63. It's everybody shooting. It's like you can have a layup, but you got to look and see if anybody's in the street. But I hate that shit, man. I'm telling you, like it's just terrible. But that's a good game, That's mother's right up at the rim. One point more. Like
pass up the 2, get the 3. That's it. They'd rather have a 3-point miss than a 2-point made. That's the way it is right now. Swerve, hey man, final thoughts before we get out of here.
I'm just gonna salute you, brother, and your son. My nephew, Caden, man. Y'all about to graduate in a few more hours and 3 more hours, and he already was on college camp. He just came back just to finish the process.
That's right.
He went through the process. He just came back to get the prize, and I just that's one of the box you check off. Son graduate, son in college, and and even y'all don't know my nephew like. He's a stand-up guy. And I'm going to leave it at that, damn it.
That's right, brother. But I appreciate that. For Sedrick Irvin, man, hey, we're going to have a happy, graduation. Remember, next week, once a week, maybe Tuesday or Thursday, we're going to let you know which day we're going to be live next week. It's going to be different during the summer months because Swerve and Straight are moving around and doing some other projects. But that's okay. We are not leaving you, Swerve.
But even with your comments and your questions, if you leave them, Director Sean, producer Sean will get those questions and we'll get you back when we go live next week.
No doubt about it, brother. For Swerve and Irvin, I'm Jason Strayhorn. This is Sparta. Everybody have a good night. God bless you. Go green.
Go white.